All right, yeah, I'm gonna go over really quickly the uh, stuff that you got to do just to get set up with this little platformer microgame template that Unity provides. That's going to be super helpful for getting your bearings. And so I'm going to go ahead and screen share. You all
Nice.
can join and watch. So, in order to install Unity, just because I want to go over this as well, you can go to unity3d.com/get-unity/download. I'll put a link somewhere so you guys can grab that as well. You'll want to click Download Unity Hub, and it's a bit of a setup process. I had to go and look at a video here of like what it'll actually look like. This is just someone on YouTube. So you download it. Yeah, you'll have to sign in with your Unity ID or make a Unity ID, confirm your email, then choose Unity personal license, and you know, you can just say I don't use Unity in a professional capacity, and then you'll just be able to use it for free until you start to use it in a professional capacity, at which point you might have to update your license, but that's neither here nor there. Some survey stuff you go through, and finally you'll get into Unity Hub, which is going to look a little different than it does in this video, since this is a little bit of an old video. But once you have Unity Hub installed, you can go ahead and open it up, and it will ask you to, you won't have a projects window quite yet, but it'll ask you to add an install of Unity. So you can just go to here to add, and you can choose the version. 2019.4.12 is going to be currently the newest one. And I imagine it's probably what we'll be using. Generally, when you're collaborating with people with Unity, you'll want to use the same version of Unity. So once you have that installed, and it might take a little while, it's a pretty big install, you can then go over to your projects window, and you can click New. And this will bring up this window. You can name your project, so I'll name it 2D Platformer Microgame. And if you feel so inclined, you know, you can make a blank project either with the 2D basic settings or the 3D basic settings, which mostly just has to do with how it imports assets and what the default view is, but this is all stuff you can change after creating the project. And you can make some kind of hybrid if you want. But we're going to go down here. You'll see there will be a bunch of different templates here, including karting microgame, FPS microgame, which you're of course free to play around with. But in this case, we're going to want the 2D platformer microgame. So I've already downloaded this, but when you see it for the first time, it'll just have a download button. You'll have to click that and wait for it to finish downloading. And once it's done, you'll be able to just click on it here, you know, name your project, whatever you want, and then click create. And this will take a little bit of time to import and to set stuff up depending on the speed of your hard drive and your computer and such. So unfortunately, we'll have to just wait until it finishes. But while we're waiting, actually, I'll go ahead and go over to this tab, which I will also link this in the Discord. This is a page that Unity has set up to explain the platform microgame template and actually give you a bunch of different exercises you can do in order to modify the template and, you know, make it more of your own. So there's one here to put your face on a billboard in the game world. Something here to make a splash screen to give it a name, and a bunch of other stuff here to do all sorts of different art modifications, and one here as well for putting down a custom trigger in the world that will cause something to happen. In this case, a confetti celebration, as they say. Tons of stuff you can do here after getting set up with it, but this is all going to be optional for now. Totally stuff that you can just check out on your own. So I think the import is about finished. Close to it. But once this gets set up, I'll show you there's a really cool, really simple tutorial system. It kind of just gets you oriented with where some things are located in the Unity thing, the Unity interface. Unfortunately, it's taken a little longer than I would have liked. But I guess in the event that doesn't start up, I might... Oh, wait, I think it's... Okay, it's going. Cool. Alright, so you can just click Explore on your own if you're already familiar with Unity and just want to see what the deal is with this particular template. However, if you aren't familiar with Unity, and even if you are, I'd still recommend just clicking Get Started here, and it'll open up this cool window where it'll give you these instructions, playtest. So this one's just saying, get started. I want you to press this button to enter play mode. And what this does is in Unity, it just starts your game and it automatically focuses your game view window and actually just lets you play. So sorry if that's a little loud. And you can move with the arrow keys and jump. You can collect stuff. You can get hurt and die. And you can jump on enemies to kill them, jump over here, etc. And you can press this button to stop. They'll want you to select the player game object and go over here to the inspector window and edit the max speed. So you can set it to something absolutely ridiculous like 80 from 3. And click next. Try that out. And immediately, you'll be able to see that everything is completely unplayable because he's way too fast, but you've changed a very fundamental value of your player character, and that's cool, and you can do that to customize the way the game feels and all the other things. You can click this button to go to the tutorial on editor controls, where we'll go over here. I'll show you the hierarchy view here, which is just a list of all the assets that are currently in your game scene, including some nested assets, which they don't want me to actually click to expand this apparently, but those are basically folders of additional assets. And then you've got your scene view, which is basically where you go in and edit your scene. So they want you to select the hand tool here, which you can click, or you can press Q to select it, and you can drag around and see the whole area here. Click next. You can use the mouse wheel, or you can hold Alt and right click to zoom in or out. You can select the move tool or press W, and this wants you to select a game object in the scene. So I'll select this, and I will, one of many, many tokens that have been duplicated and put in this scene, as you can see here. But it's got these positional controls here, and you can use this to move it right or left, move it up and down along 2 different axes. And if you can see over here, it's grayed out, but it's actually tracking the exact position relative to the center of your scene. And that's just a quick little thing you can do to place objects in your scene once they've already been added to the scene. We'll go to the third tutorial, and really quick, really simple, just start, select the player object here. We'll turn off the gizmos so you can actually... Oh, man, they really just want you to only click on the things they're telling you to click on right now. So unfortunately, we won't be able to see this because I didn't turn off the gizmos, but you can change the color of your player. We'll make them red, maybe a salmon, pale pink color. Sure. And now they want you to enter play mode, and you can see that the color of your player has changed. Everything else is pretty much the same. And finally, tutorial to add an enemy. I'm just clicking don't save. It's probably fine if you do save it, but this is just a tutorial, so nothing we're changing really matters at this point. Not a lot of room to exercise creativity when they won't let you click on anything but what they're focusing on. However, now they're telling you about the prefabs, which These are basically game objects that have been already set up, already created, and you'll find out later you can actually just take anything from your hierarchy window, drag it into a folder down here, and it'll automatically become a prefab that you can just drag back in as many times as you want into any scene. So here we go. We've placed an enemy. It's got all this stuff already set up on it, and we can put it here, and we can go next. Select the move tool. They want us to move it around again, just to make sure we really know what we're doing. Next. And finally, they want us to build and publish the game. And this is really cool. So, this is teaching us how to publish specifically for WebGL, which is the system that allows you to play games in your browser. So this will be actually published to a website. So we go to publish, we click WebGL project, click get started, we click create new WebGL build, switch to WebGL, and I'll just go in, I don't know, I'll put it on my desktop, I guess. And it's gonna take a little bit to I've done that. Now, next, publish your game. So I click publish here. And this is the coolest part. Because, you know, if I wanted to, I could go to my desktop here and, oh, oops, I just kind of put it in on my desktop without making a folder for it. That's fine. There should be, under build here, no, maybe it's, oh, here we go, index.html. Kind of messed up by not making a separate folder for this, so it's kind of just all jumbled in here. But if I load up Firefox, which you have to like specifically configure your browser often to run WebGL games from your hard drive. God, that's so loud. But as you can see, I just realized it wouldn't be able to hear anything without a specific window capture, so only my own eardrums are being blown out right now. But yeah, you can just open the index.html file from your build folder in order to load it up in your browser. But the really cool thing is, and it opened the page when it auto-completed, but this is a page that it has just brought up here. This is a sort of template page or preview page, and what you can actually do is it's been uploaded to Unity's servers. You can click play to play it if you want. You can give it a title. You can give it a description. It tells you what assets you used with it, and you can add another asset if you need to, just to let people know what you used to make this. And then you can click post, and it'll just be posted to your public Unity profile, and like you can just get your game out there. Unity will just host it for you. If you just want to make a browser game.
Yeah.
So that's basically what that tutorial is telling you about. You can click done. You can close this publish window. You can click done here, and it'll load up the full like explore window, which is basically just Unity. So you can go ahead and you can move the tutorials tab over here so it's not taking up its own space. You can go to the inspector, click on a game object. You can look at its properties. Click on player. You can change the player's color. I can finally turn off the gizmos so you can actually see that you can change the color of the sprite. Stuff like that, and this is the point where you would be able to just, totally go in and change everything. You could go to the background here, and you can let's see. You can click on this far background. Yeah, it's using some kind of sprite material. I don't know. It's totally open ended. You don't really necessarily have to do anything with this. But the main thing that I wanted to just demonstrate and show everybody here, and hopefully get everybody who comes to the next meeting to go through, is just that basic tutorial, which just the most important thing that it does, I think, is it tells you what each of these windows does, at least in a really basic capacity, and makes you change stuff. You can go to the player and you can change the player's speed. You can change their jump takeoff speed. You can go over here and you could, in the audio folder, you could drag in your own sound effects, and then you could change which sound effects the jump action makes. And I would really encourage everybody to play around with this, but at the very, very, very least, just check out that tutorial. And I've recorded all this, so this will be available to watch. And yeah, Amit, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording so we can kind of keep this consolidated to Unity tutorial stuff.
Okay.
And if you want to go ahead and start your meeting recording again. Are you here?
Yeah, I just started recording my
Okay,
end
cool.
again. Okay, so